everyone. Today I'm here with my friend Tina because
Hi.
Tina cooks vegan food, and I'm on this journey right now of learning how to transition from eating the standard American diet, hamburgers and french fries and all of that good stuff, to a vegetarian food, vegan food. And so Tina does an amazing job with her family, and so I wanted to spend some time with her today going over how to make a couple of different dishes so that we know how to transition into the regular diet that we're eating now more into the vegan. And then we had a party not too long ago, and she actually made this amazing pizza. So hopefully next time we'll be able to make that pizza. But Tina, you want to take a few minutes and just kind of introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about you and how you got on this journey before we introduce what we're going into.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we're gonna make.
So, yeah, I'm excited to share. I know for me, when I went plant-based, it was a little overwhelming, and I did a lot of internet searching, so maybe I can help reduce that for someone else, the stress of it or whatever, because there's some really easy things you can do and be 100% plant-based and feel good about it. So we're going to do a couple of recipes today, quick, simple recipes, probably with things you already have in your fridge or your cupboard, and if not, easy to get. So what we're going to look at here first is the chickpea salad, which I got from Oh She Glows. I actually bought this cookbook after I got a bunch of recipes from her free online at ohsheglows.com. So this one is the perfected chickpea salad sandwich, and it comes with, the main ingredient is garbanzo beans or chickpeas, and I make my own because we eat a lot of them. And you can see I reuse my jars. This doesn't take any extra anything, it's just jars I had already had, and they seal. So, but I have a canner, so I use that.
And so how do you make these just really quick?
Yeah, so I boil them real quick, 30 minutes on the oven, and then when they're cooked for 30 minutes, then I put them in the jars, and then I put the jars in the canner and set the canner for 11 pounds pressure at 90 minutes, and then I pull them out when they're done, and you hear them pop. And then,
so how long will those last?
A year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
So they never last that long.
Okay. Yeah. Normally.
They're eaten within weeks, so
yeah.
I do like 8, 10 at a time, and then.
Wow. So is this a staple that most people would use, or you use?
I use,
for a lot of your vegetarian.
And
dishes?
prior to being plant-based, I don't think I'd had them, but maybe a couple times at Jason's Deli, they had them on the salad, and I was like, oh, these are pretty good. Now I love them. So it's
Beautiful.
A lot of things have evolved, but this is just a vegan mayonnaise, and this was actually one of the first things that I converted to even prior to being 100% plant-based, because my oldest daughter went natural, or with veganese, and it tastes great. It's better than regular mayonnaise, and so it's a little bit.
What makes this better?
It tastes better.
Okay.
It just tastes better. I mean, you've had it already in multiple things and had no problem with it,
and
but
I didn't notice the difference.
yeah,
so.
I mean, mayonnaise isn't one of those things you usually eat just by itself.
Right.
But I encourage people to try it. But there's other vegan mayonnaises out there. That one is just one I really like, and it, like I say, it's a little bit expensive. This is probably about $7.99 or something. But it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
And I do have a recipe for my own mayonnaise, but I've just been buying it. It's one of the convenience items. Same thing with garlic. Obviously, I could use fresh garlic, but this is just easy.
Okay.
Yeah, mustard and pickles. I'm going to cut up some pickles for this recipe. Celery and green onions.
And we have these hiding behind our condiments here. So we can probably move those out of the way.
And we'll probably put most of this in here, not all of it. We'll see how it comes up. But it comes with all of these things and lemon juice. And maybe we'll send a picture of put the picture of the recipe on there so they can see it.
Recipe up.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to help her cut this stuff up so we can prepare for the nice, beautiful salad we're making today.
All right, perfect. So you want to cut these?
Yeah.
And I'll cut these. And then...
And do you make these in like small?
Perfect.
pieces?
Like that, and then tiny.
Okay, very tiny strips.
Yeah. So.
And do you always hand process this stuff, or do you have a chopper that you use, or?
I do these by hand. because they just don't take that long.
And while you're making or cutting up your food, can we talk just a little bit about the energy that goes into the food that we prepare? Because it's so vital that you prepare your food with love. So can you maybe just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's so funny because my daughters always say that the sandwiches that I make, even though it's the same exact sandwich, but if I made it for them, it's just so much better. I don't know if that's just them working me to make them sandwiches, or if there's some truth to it. But
well, I think it's true because honestly, you brought several dishes to things that I've had, events that I've had, and every time I eat your food, it's like so good. And then I go and I try to make it, and it's like it's just not quite the same. Maybe the same love is what's in it that I can taste.
Well, I really do think that there's an element of, being a gift, first of all, is, a certain element. And then, traditionally, when I'm cutting, I'm often very thankful, where did this food come from? Some of it, might come from my garden. Unfortunately, not a lot of this did. The lemon came from my garden, but the rest of it we all purchased. But I do, think about, what it took to get to us, the farmers that handled it, and then the people that handled it at the store and all that, and just kind of realize how blessed I am, and just really thankful for be part of this chain, and all the while, my goal is to eventually be able to get everything as close to as possible from my own sources, or from community source, rather than a grocery store.
Right, and one of the things that I want to comment on or bring up is that we as a community at One Community Rising have been guided to start preparing our gardens. And as a community, we're actually looking to put together a community garden for the people that are in our social group to kind of, have our own food available, which is really prominent in the world today. And I know a lot more of my clients are being guided to, have their own gardens and have more natural foods, because a lot of the food that's shipped in to us has been preserved, and there's a lot of toxins in the food that we get outside of our own gardens. So I know that this is a big push and a big way that we're going in the world right now. So I know that that's something that's going to be really important going forward.
Right. And you had mentioned the energy of food, and there's so much we don't know, but the plants. One thing that I saw in spirit science just yesterday, which surprised me, is that plants can get anxiety if you're eating around them. So the thing is, but that was dissipated. This was a study that they did. They used the lie detector test on a plant. And, they found, like, he was monitoring this plant for a while. He found that whenever he was eating in the room, the plant would get nervous, so to speak, or, act like it was going to lie, that same thing. And what he found was...
Did you do the onion there?
Actually, that onion's not going in here. It was just from before.
Well, it looks really good
I know.
there, so
it could.
I just wanted to put it in there. No, go ahead.
But anyway, what he did was he started being really grateful to everything in his sandwich or whatever he was eating, being really grateful, and then the plant, it reduced its anxiety. Like it understood it was part of it. Like,
what was their purpose?
It was a greater purpose, and that it would resolve. It's just interesting how when we take a bigger view, everything makes more sense from our perspective and from everything in the kingdoms, right?
Right, exactly.
It's cool.
And a lot of times we don't even think about the food that we're eating.
Right.
And there is consciousness in the food. So
it's about slowing down and being appreciative. Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty much ready. So let me what we got to do now is drain those chickpeas and rinse them off. Okay, so I've got this one to cut too. Do you want to cut this one while
I will
Okay, so yeah, so I can both chickpeas and pinto beans, sometimes black beans, just because it's like 22 cents for me to can and, you know, $1 something to buy.
Right.
And it's not just about the money, it's about the connection to the food. I just think about all the travel that these beans have to go from, you know, it's silly. I'd rather just... Okay, so this is a tool. I don't even know what this is. What is this for? I don't know, but I use it for this.
Masher.
Yeah.
I use it
You
to
can do
chop
it
my
with
lettuce, actually.
Oh,
So I do.
interesting. You gotta be strong.
It's really good because
Yeah.
then it's just so much easier than trying to cut
Lettuce
it up little by
even.
little.
Interesting.
And they do it at Subway. That's how I found out about
Oh,
that. Because that's what they
they're
use,
so
that little
smart.
tool at
Yeah.
Subway when you order a salad there.
Yeah. Well, I use it for this, but you could use a fork. But they're pretty soft. Even the ones from the store canned are, you know, and I like to leave a little bit of a chunk, but not too much. Okay. And then we get to put in all the goodies. Just these are beautiful,
A
aren't
little
they?
bit more smaller.
Just a couple of the chunks are bigger, but really it doesn't matter. It's really preference.
And so now you just take your vegetables that you've already cut up and just add it to your chickpeas. Yes.
Yeah, you want to add those, and I will cut the pickles. And we got to cut a couple pickles. Although there is a cheat. If you don't like cutting up pickles, there's this, Simply Relish. It's more like just chunky pickles, but I usually cut up pickles. Sometimes in a rush I'll use that. But I encourage you to get the pickles that don't have yellow number 5. Oh, there's only 2 in there.
And what is it about yellow number 5?
It's a known carcinogen. I mean, it's
Okay.
there's not anything you want in your body. And up until recently, Vlasic had it, but now.
Cool.
But yeah, there's a lot.
They now have no dyes in there, according to their sign
Well,
there.
that one.
So that particular one, so watch for that.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between? Because I noticed this one's more. Is it a dill? Well, it is dill also.
Yeah.
So it's not a sweet pickle. It's a dill.
Yeah, dill. Definitely
Okay.
dill pickle. Unless you like that sweet pickle thing. I mean, obviously this is just kind of a, you know, I went with her recipe, but sometimes I've added purple onion and I've added a couple different things, but this has
spice it
quite a variety, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
Well, I think the pickles are actually what I really enjoy about. Well, I
Yeah.
like the whole thing, but the pickles just made it really just kind of
Yeah.
pop. I think.
Yeah, I
That's what
agree.
liked about it.
And if you have fresh dill, I put that into, otherwise you can do dried. Yeah, so if you want to, let me get a squeezer here. Squeeze that in there.
And this is a lemon off her lemon tree that she has in her backyard. So I just squeeze it into
Yep,
the salad. or
yep, the other way. See
other way?
see where the holes are? For it, no, either way, like that is fine, but see the juice comes out the bottom here.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I do it that way in mine, and then it just squeezes it out, but I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, so long as the juice comes out.
Right.
And
A
hope,
lot more juice that way, though.
yeah, and hopefully no seed. But sometimes the seeds come out.
There are seeds, so I will proceed to grab this.
Want a spoon? You got it. Yeah.
It might be a good idea. Nothing worse than eating a lemon seed.
Yeah, there is
Very
worse.
bitter.
Dog hairs.
Yeah.
Or really long human hairs.
All right. I think I got them.
Yeah, I remember when I first decided to go plant-based and I came home and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to eat? Potatoes were my friend. I ate a lot of potatoes. But now I hardly ever eat potatoes, or it's just a little bit of something that I eat. But it's definitely taken time to evolve to that. But it is my saving grace whenever I go out, you know, because you start to go out and intermingle with the world, eat with other people, and I can eat just about anywhere now that I know.
Right.
You know.
Well, and there's getting to be more and more too restaurants that have vegan foods, and there's more vegan restaurants around too.
Oh my gosh,
Because
yes.
I know we've gone to a couple of them recently. So.
Well, on vegansbaby.com, there's a link to all of the active vegan only and vegan option restaurant, but the vegan only is what I'm talking about specifically. When I first went plant-based, I think there was like 3 or 4 exclusively vegan places. Now there's like 30 plus. So yeah, it's definitely in the movement.
Right.
And
Here's your garbage.
garbage is right there. Oh, but that's compost. You can put it in that bowl right there. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've been feeling the call for a while to put things back to the earth versus put them in the garbage. So I started composting a few years ago, and now when I don't, it feels weird.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like this is just going to emit gases in the garbage, you know. I mean, I know what it does, essentially. It's so I try not to, but it's not always easy, especially when I travel.
Right. Right.
But I have been known to dig a little hole and just throw it in the ground. All right. So normally I use 3 pickles, so I'm going to put this and then a little bit of the other too.
The other.
Yeah. Yeah, they cut those up nice and small. All right.
Are we done with these chopping?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to put these over here as where we go.
Here, oh,
So
chickpea.
we can just.
And I do about that much garlic and do the mixing. Put this back in the fridge. Add some salt. And some pepper.
This looks so good already, just mixing all of this up. And the first time that I had this, it reminded me of like tuna salad
Yeah.
that you would normally have at your summer picnic.
Yep.
And so when I tasted it, I'm like, are you sure that there's no tuna in there? Because it had all the same flavors.
Yeah.
Yet it was totally.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between a chicken salad and a tuna salad,
Yeah.
but neither.
And I think the key is a lot of us feel like we have to eat meat because of the flavors. But once you can create something that tastes the same, it really changes your perception of how you eat.
Yeah, and it's about getting it close and something you like, because, I mean, you know, we're not always going to match exactly the flavor palette of a you know, a being.
Particular dish.
Yeah, but we can get pretty darn close, because it always comes down to, I mean, you think about it, like a chicken that's not seasoned in any way, it's just bland.
Bland. Yeah.
So
It's really the seasoning that attracts us, I think, most of the time to those particular varieties. Now, how much of that dressing did you put in the main?
So it was brand new, so you can kind of see, like
About
3 tablespoons maybe.
I guess you just get it until you feel like, you know, the moisture
Yeah.
that you like.
Well, and on the recipe it'll show how much.
And we'll put the recipe below the video so that anyone wanting to make this delicious
So let me get some.
can do so. And then once we've made
Get to
this
try it?
salad, we get to try it out. That's the best part of the whole creating this food is we get to try it out.
We normally eat it with kettle chips, but I like it on a sandwich that's toasted. It's it's a good one.
And they have vegan cheese too, right? So you could actually get some good healthy bread and toast it with some of that vegan cheese and put it on there, and that would be amazing.
Toasted. I'm liking that idea.
Incredible.
You think it needs anything?
My favorite part is the pickles. Donna, you're the expert. How does it taste to you? Does it need anything?
I think further exploration. It's pretty good.
It does taste really good. I love it. This could be a really great super lunch snack.
It often is. When I travel, this is my go-to because it stays good in the fridge for up to a week, maybe even more. We keep it real cold, and you don't, get it in and out a lot. And like I say, you can have it very easily just with like this or on a sandwich, and I can eat it while I drive.
I love it. So, thank you, Tina, for showing us how to make this today.
Yeah.